Hey, everybody. My name's Ryan Gaul.
And I'm Matt Catanzano. We have real people with first-hand ghost stories who are going to zoom in with us, and they're going to tell us the story, and we're going to listen to the story. Because, Ryan, what do we love?
We love ghost stories. Hey, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking, it's called a Dead and Cherried.
Isn't it a cherried alive?
Oh, cherried alive.
Hey, Matt, what are you drinking?
Dead and Cherried. No, damn it, I did it again. Oh, it's the worst.
I have a scary story. Or a ghost story, a true ghost story. So, okay, I'll start with in about 2011, my now in-laws, they moved from North Carolina to Des Moines, Iowa. And my wife and I had graduated school and moved out to San Francisco, where we are now. And her parents bought this really old house, like an old Tudor style house in an old neighborhood in Des Moines. And they fixed it up really nice, and it's a beautiful place. And so we started hearing stories about it before we ever got to visit. And one of the first things we heard from my wife's mom was, "Hey, I think we have a little friendly spirit in the house here." So, one of the first things we knew was there were some funny things happening. And so we said, like, "Well, what are you seeing exactly?" And it was like, "Oh, well, a paperweight from the side table just ends up on the floor, unbroken, but just on the floor a few feet away from the table. And sometimes windows shut, light fixtures will swing just slightly, like clearly no wind, no breeze, but things a little funny, right?"
Yeah.
And so that was my mother-in-law's take on this friendly little spirit, and those were her early experiences. And I don't think I was sold on it yet, right? I thought, okay, that none of that is, to me, smoking gun ghost evidence. And then her sister, so my mother-in-law's sister, she came to visit. She was one of the first people to visit the new house. And I feel like she might be a little more skeptical than my mother-in-law, but she reported back after that visit, yes, I had an experience too. And so she stayed in the guest room, and her story was that she was going to bed. She was in the guest room, and she had been nervous because she was thinking about a big flight coming up for her son or something, international flight, and she was nervous. And she said she felt like a hand just rubbing her back very gently, like a comforting, and she's in the dark in the guest room. And so that one, to me, she seems like a more skeptical person, and she was very adamant that this happened. And then but I still kind of felt like when it happens late at night, when you're alone, there's a good chance you're dreaming something,
Mm-hmm.
and it can feel very real. So I'm not sure which year this was, but when we went for a long Christmas trip, so finally staying in the house, we were staying in that same guest room where my wife's aunt had that, the hand rubber back. And it was creepy. It's very, very dark wood on the walls, like I don't even know what you call it, but the walls are like dark wood, a lot of antiques in the room. And we went to bed one night. I usually stay up later than my wife, and I'm reading a Kindle, right? So like light in my face, I don't really see anything outside of that little window. And I've probably been reading for like 45 minutes, and it just felt very distinctly like a person sat on the end of the bed, like the weight of something. So that was weird, and I had like chills, right? And I'm looking at my Kindle, and I don't really want to like turn it around and make a flashlight out of it. So yeah. I'm just like creeped out, but I kind of let the anxiety pass, and I just feel like, okay, my wife kicked her foot or something. And so probably days go by. I don't think I even brought that up to Emily, but days go by, we're still there, and we were in the same guest room, and the guest room has a little, it's like guest room, guest bathroom. And I was saying something about this old, if you ever watch Antiques Roadshow, very valuable antique where little kids learn to stitch, right? And they like stitch the alphabet, or they stitch little like
For sure.
sayings or whatever, right? And there was one of those in the room, and it was like, kind of like half finished, and it had little like, I don't know, something about that in the room was creepy, and we were looking at that, and I started joking about moving it, and my wife was like, don't move it. And I started joking back. I was like, oh, why? Because your mom's ghost is gonna have a problem with it. And I was doing that like taunting thing, and there was just a bang, like super loud bang, and we both stopped. And this is the middle of the day, but 10 feet away in the guest bathroom, the little plastic around the recessed light had just fallen. And this is like a newly remodeled bathroom, but just like, the little plastic ring around the light had just fallen in the shower and slammed right as I was taunting, and shouldn't have been. And so that was just creepy, because it was right when I was acknowledging the presence of something.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
And so my wife and I both thought that was creepy. And then a few days pass. Christmas, we have a wonderful Christmas morning, long Christmas. Emily's brother's is staying in the house as well. And we ended up staying up really late, and we were watching scary movies on Christmas night. And it was like 2 a.m., 2:30, and we finished a pretty scary movie. And so,
What movie?
so I always mess this up, but it's like this Ethan Hawke movie from the last, I don't know, 6 years. But is it
Sinister?
Sinister? That's it. Yeah. And there's really creepy like found footage in it.
Yeah. Terrifying.
Yeah. And so watching that at like 2 a.m. in this old house, and we're the last ones awake, it was kind of scary. And so we, turned off the lights and went upstairs and like made sure everything was quiet, whatever. And 2:30 a.m. we get in bed, and the second we lay down and our heads touch the pillow, the sound system in the house like creaks on. And
Creaks on?
Well, it was like crackly.
Yeah.
It was crackly.
Okay.
And it starts playing "Christmas Time Is Here," the Vince Guaraldi trio,
Oh.
but with the the children's choir.
Yeah.
And so we were just ready to go to sleep and lay our heads down, and it was "Christmas Time Is Here," and it's just those little children's voices.
No.
And the only thing connected to that sound system is just like a first generation iPad that's all the way downstairs back in the TV room where we'd been. So,
oh my God.
So I had to go kind of by myself through the dark house to go unplug and turn off the music, and did that little like scamper.
How slow did you walk?
I walked, I got to the edge of everything and did a peek around the corner before I went for it.
That's the worst though, because just knowing like, all right, I'm gonna look around this corner, but like, man, if there's something there, like that thought's what keeps me up at night. It's just the thought of like, but what if though?
I know. Or just like something right outside the window, or a face outside the window. So that was the experience. 3 events in same house, and kind of confined to that room and then downstairs.
And then that house was burned down, right? And was never used again.
I have to assume that's what happened. I think we might have only done one more holiday or two in that house, and then they moved. They moved and retired to a
God, I
different
can't even
state.
imagine doing 2 more.
Yeah, but it was funny. One of the other stories, family member stories, was Emily's cousin once stayed and slept in the same bed. Right? They all seem to happen in that guest room.
Yeah.
But similar to his mom, he was falling asleep. He was in bed, and he just felt someone pull the covers all the way up over his shoulders. Right?
I'd
So-
crap my pants. I would crap. I would literally immediately shit myself.
Oh my God, you're looking right at me. How
I
are you
know.
doing that with Zoom?
Gee, man. I didn't make those.
and I mean, I had that experience with the Kindle, right, where I thought something was in the room, and
Yeah.
my skin, like, hairs just stood up. But it was weird that those two stories of, like, the rubbing the back and then the blanket being pulled up, they both felt like someone was taking care of them. So I don't know, for some reason it wasn't as ominous.
Yeah,
No,
not in the
no one.
level. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's nice.
So
That's
good.
actually, that's not nice. That's still terrifying. However, there's something interesting about,
It's
especially in a guest
scary.
room, because conceivably somebody would come in and check on the person in the guest room and
Yeah.
fix,
And just
tuck in the person in the guest room. And,
Yeah.
Man.
Oh,
what are you doing?
what?
Just,
Was
there's
that a
another-
paperweight?
Freaking me out, man.
Here's my question. My last question. Hold on. I wanted this guy in here. My last question is: did you believe in ghosts before this happened? And
No.
now, if somebody asked you, are you a believer in ghosts? Would you say yes or no?
So I was not, and I was skeptical of everyone's stories, and I think now I'd have to say yes.
8 scare bones, 8 scones. That's
You give-
terrifying.
You give that 8.
It was multiple, and it led to a bigger one. I'm also, I don't know. I don't know anymore.
No, he was fresh in his storytelling, and he took it up the stairs perfectly. Yeah, the three different moments really were wonderful,
Mm-hmm.
and I gotta go. See. Here's what I'm doing. I'm hoping that somebody's gonna beat him. I'm gonna go 7.9.
Okay, 7.9.
Scare
Like that.
bones.
I'll take that.
7.9 scare bones.
I brought Tito's for you, Ryan. So here.
Oh man, hold on. We're drinking. Jamie, we're having a.
Dead and cherried.
No, it's called
Damn
Cherry
it.
Alive.
We're gonna go back to a town called Tarrytown. It's right next to Sleepy Hollow, which you may have heard of from the movie Sleepy Hollow. And
Where's Sleepy Hollow, by the way? Where's Sleepy Hollow?
it's just outside New York City. It's about a half hour north. But in the movie, it's a 3-day horse carriage ride. So depends on if you're going by carriage or train.
Yep.
So half hour train ride. You get up to Tarrytown, and there's a little theater there called Tarrytown Music Hall. Now, Tarrytown's been around a long time, maybe back to the 1800s. So, and as you might know, every theater has a ghost. And so Tarrytown Music Hall, being one of these old, like, very Victorian feeling theaters, of course, had a ghost. And so the story of this ghost goes that there was a play of Macbeth. It was the first play to be performed at Tarrytown Music Hall. I don't know if that's true. This is how the story goes, though.
Okay, yeah.
And there was a guy that was watching Macbeth, and during the show, during the intermission, he had learned that his wife was cheating on him, or he went to see it because his wife was cheating on him. And so he left during the show. He was so upset. And in Tarrytown Music Hall, in the lobby, there's a second floor. On the second floor, there's like a banister. And so the story goes that at the end of the show, the audience came out, and there was a man hanging from the banister because of his cheating wife.
Wow.
So flash forward to about, I don't know, 150 years later, and I'm in a production of Annie at Tarrytown Music Hall.
Oh my God!
Sure.
Who did you play? Who did you play? Who did you play?
I played Dusty the Chorus Orphan. And not only did I play Dusty the Chorus Orphan in this production, I was also cast as the same chorus orphan in a later production of Annie. But
Wow.
by
Really
a different,
crushing that part.
I am classic Dusty. So as Dusty the Chorus Orphan, we're all in Annie. It's a youth production, so even Daddy Warbucks is like 15 years old, and we're all hearing the ghost stories. We're all getting kind of scared, right? And the girl that plays Annie, her name was Sarah, in classic Annie fashion, was just like, "There's no such thing as ghosts. They're not real. Let's get over it." And we were all like, "There's a curse. If you say Macbeth 3 times, our opening night is going to be cursed." And the girl that played Annie was like, "Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth." So she got all of us up. She was very Annie. So
Such an Annie. That's such an Annie thing to do.
such an Annie move.
Oh.
Such an of her. So she gets all of us up, and all of us little girls are like kick lining, and we're jumping around singing Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth. And opening night, well, sorry, right after that, this girl spills her Coca-Cola over, and it like runs into the carpet. It's all carpeted because it's an old theater. And in the carpet spells out the letters MB. And we were all like, it's a little weird, but a coincidence. Whatever.
Soda's not supposed to do that.
No, it is not Macbeth. Is there a ghost? So then we get to opening night. We've, if the curse is real, it's gonna happen. We've made it happen. So opening night comes. The first thing that happens is there's a blackout in the theater.
Wow.
The whole theater.
Just the lights die.
Yeah, the lights die. So we're in the middle of the show. There's a blackout.
Okay.
There is a big storm outside, but still, to have a blackout in a whole theater is pretty weird. We have to stop the show. We finally come back to the show. We're going again. Then we have to cross under the stage. It's a really old theater, so instead of behind the stage, you have to go under it. So we're crossing under it. It's totally flooded. You can't really get through without your boots and your petticoats getting wet. Totally flooded. As we're under there, the fire alarms go off. So if our opening night is not cursed by this ghost, this is just some... So
Yeah.
there is a ghost. So we get up through, we're going on with the show, and then the scariest part happens. I'm standing talking to my friend Nicole Palmadesso in the wings. And up from the ceiling, an axe just falls right down. Next to Nicole. It's the scariest shit. It was so scary. This axe, it just falls. We look up, no one's there. No one's holding the pulleys.
Where did it come from?
Well, where did the axe come?
Where did the axe come from?
Where did the axe come from?
It came from the ceiling. And it was
But where?
struck
But
by
who
the
ha- No, that's terrifying.
No, an axe fell out of the sky?
Yeah, pretty much.
Did it land like chopped in? Did it land diagonal in, or did it like just did it bounce?
It kind of bounced. It kind of bounced. So it came like, so I'm talking to Nicole, and the axe, it just kind of dropped like here, and Nicole's here, and it drops like there.
Jamie,
Wow.
that's terrifying.
What was Nicole's part? Did she have a part that someone would have killed her for in a child's production of Annie?
She was playing the axe
I
death woman.
think she was Molly, actually, or she was like the understudy for Molly. But I'm the person that would have killed her for it, and it wasn't me. So
Wow. That's good. That's crazy. I thought you were gonna say that like maybe you saw something out of the corner of your eye, not that an axe fell. That's
it's a haunted theater. It's one of those like the dressing rooms. So the way, I don't know if you guys have been to Tarrytown Music Hall, but the dressing rooms are just these like old creaky like tiny little rooms, and then there's like an upstairs, and you kind of like go around this corridor, and then at the upstairs there's a door, and in that door, the upstairs, if you look out, it leads to the stage, but like a level up, and there's no stairs, there's no thing stopping you from just falling straight out of that door.
Wow.
That's kind of where like the axe came from, like up in that area, but there was no one in the doorway.
I
Wow.
love that.
Yeah, that's great. I mean,
Yeah.
Macbeth, obviously, bad luck to say in a theater. You're not supposed to say it at all. You guys sang it in a chorus line.
We did.
So obviously the show gets interrupted in the middle of the show, but having a follow-up later seems excessive. That seems even more spooky.
Yeah. No, it was scary. I mean, I have, 20 chorus girls that can corroborate it. I was like 7 or 8 years old. We were little. But
Yeah.
yeah. It was
Wow.
a spooky one.
Wait, how old were you?
Oh my God! Wait, you were 7 or 8 years old? I guess that's.
Yeah,
I guess we knew that because you did say that. But I'm just picturing you now and that happening the entire time. The
No.
idea that it was children is so much
For
worse.
some reason I pictured you like 14, 15 years old.
Yeah.
Like 7. I was like, oh my God.
I was picturing you exactly how you are right now in that t-shirt, talking with your friend, and an axe fell, and I was like, that's crazy that almost happened to that adult woman.
Crazy, bro. Yeah. No, it was like I was a teeny baby.
Jamie? Baby Jamie?
Yeah. I actually, is my wallet in here? Ooh, I don't know. Never mind. It's unrelated. I was at my mom's and found a bunch of old baby photos. So I was like, I found like little strips that I can cut into squares and give everyone.
Oh, and each one there's an axe like blurry behind you.
Okay.
Oh.
Good. I would, here's the thing. I'll rate that. I'll give that good storytelling. The scare bones are going to go down for me because I'm like, yeah, I get it. I get that there's things that can go wrong with the Macbeth thing.
I mean, a child was almost killed with an axe. However, it is a very different type of scare because I'm not used to first-person ghost stories where there's like violence. Like that ghost wielded a weapon.
It's true. 7 even because of the axe. That's good.